I need a ruling from the king of narcissism, Greg Cody, who will be made very happy by listening to the first foray into charitable endeavors involving his catchphrase. Boog Shambi has used a phrase, but he did so imperfectly. And here's the payment structure on how it is we're supporting his charity project, mainstreet.org. Every catchphrase he does is $500. I offered him $1,000 for Hee Haw 3 Bidet Up because that is our favorite. Mm-hmm. And with Benetti, the Detroit Tigers broadcaster, I have offered him $100 for every phrase he uses. I suspect he'll be using a lot more, but double that for any that he sings or does with extra tone. And he's also agreed to match that for every one that he does. But I need a ruling from you because the internet sent us that during a broadcast the other day, Boog did do Hee Haw 3 Bidet Up, kind of. This would be $1,000 that it would be worth, but he did it imperfectly.
You know, the plate umpire will drop his signature like Hee Haw 3 or whatever.
He was good on the Hee Haw 3, you know, the musical tone of those three words, exemplary, but he didn't follow it with Bidet Up.
I hold it against him that it wasn't a pitch being thrown. He was like just using it in conversation.
Yes.
For me, it needs to be on a strike 3.
Yeah.
Hee haw 3.
But he's not the umpire.
I know, but you just got to work it in.
Yeah, you got to work it in. I mean that's a good point by the kid there.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'm gonna give him on your behalf. It's not my money. I'm gonna give him $500. I gotta cut it in half because of the timing of it, and because of the lack of Bidet Up, which is a sin.
But he did do the tone, right? Let me hear it
Yes.
again, because he did do the sing-song, and those are worth double.
You know, the plate umpire will drop his signature like Hee Haw 3 or whatever.
Right. I'd have given him $750 if he would have said, like Greg Cody says, Hee Haw 3.
But I think the or whatever
Yes.
diminishes it. You have to stand 10 toes down on the Hee Haw 3.
Yeah, that's another good point.
Well, so should we take it down yet more? Because I don't think it's worth $500
No.
where he throws it in conversationally. He didn't embrace it. He did it. He did half of it, so it's half-assed.
It was an effort.
You all understand you are negotiating giving less money to people suffering from ALS.
Yeah.
Do it right. Honor the
Yeah,
catchphrases.
Exactly. Respect the catchphrase.
I think it's on him, right? Like he is the one that is denying the kids the dollar amount.
Yes.
You need to fully embrace your role and
Correct.
try to find ways to work it in. And I think actually working it in new places and not the umpire places in conversation.
Yeah. My final ruling, if you're allowing me to rule, would...
As the king of narcissism, I am allowing you to
Okay.
rule.
Away from the mic, please.
The final ruling would be
Just a
$350,
little bit further away.
but I'm going to bump it up to $400
Just lean back a little bit.
because of the quality
back, Jack.
of the singing.
Basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say the gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
We've got a handful of things to get to locally, but that was a spicy basketball game being played last night. And I just want to revisit for a second the expertise of this show. At the beginning of the season, I said that Sandy Alcantara was unhittable. And he became, yesterday, the first pitcher to give up 10 hits and hit 4 batters in a game. He's not very good for them. His ERA is close to 5. It's fairly shocking when he started the season with a shutout and then went into the 9th inning in his next start. Not the worst of my lack of expertise. I also admitted that for the first time that I was a Knicks hater, and as soon as I did that, they ran off the most impressive basketball streak seen in the history of the sport over 11 games. But not the worst crime by this particular prediction outfit. Mike Ryan said flatly that the Colorado Avalanche were going to win the title, and then they lost their next 4 games to Vegas. He tried to take it back 1 game later, an act of cowardice never seen around here before. Like, that's super rare to say with conviction, Avalanche clearly going to win the title, and then 1 game later, can I take it back? You asked in a whimper, were you ashamed of that as a man who says everything with a great deal of confidence? You said with a great deal of confidence that the Avalanche were the best team in hockey. You guys have been talking all year about how unbelievable the Avalanche.
They won the President's Trophy. It's not a crazy thing you said.
No, but, I mean, that's now 12 straight teams or 13 straight teams that have won the President's Trophy and have failed to win the championship.
And they got swept.
I'm not going to be shamed for showing the emotional maturity to have my opinion evolve with new data.
If we're going to use the word choke, it has to be applied to the Avalanche. They not only won the President's Trophy, they won it by like 9 points over the second-place team. And then to get swept, it's an embarrassment. They get buried by their own Avalanche. If I were a Colorado Avalanche fan, I think I'd be a little embarrassed right now.
Can you guys, Zaz decided to watch the hockey playoffs this year.
It's been good.
Can you guys tell me, put some context on what's happening with Tortorella there, where you have a coach?
It ain't the United States of Tortorella.
We're going to have to edit that to it is the United States of Tortorella. If they win the championship, you need to edit that cheaply to make it is the United States of Tortorella. But give me some context here for a team that won fewer games than the Panthers this season, knocking off that team and having the potential to win the Stanley Cup when I did not have that at any point this season.
Dan, it's not even anymore about winning fewer games this year than the Panthers did. They won fewer games than the Panthers. They lost more games than they won this year. And how about this? Teams that missed the playoffs, all right? Washington, Detroit, Columbus, Islanders, New Jersey, and the Panthers. All those teams missed the playoffs. More wins than Vegas.
Detroit?
Yeah, why not?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Detroit or Detroit? Their 95 points in the regular season would not have made the playoffs in the East. We said yesterday about the Leicester City story, the Jamie Vardy story, that they were plus 5,000 to 1. They were to win the Premier League, the biggest upset in the history of sports. You could have gotten better betting odds on finding Elvis alive. You guys want to guess what Vegas was to sweep the Avs? You want to guess?
Oh, I do want to
I was thinking about that this morning. I would love to know.
To sweep them. Okay, Vegas to sweep the Avs. I'll go plus 1,800.
Wow. I don't think that's a little much. I would say plus 500.
Plus 2,500.
What?
That's
absurd.
a great. That's how you play the game,
That's
right
very
there.
good.
That
Thank
is
you very much.
expertly
Great
played.
job.
Hey,
Yeah.
you go low.
Even
I say a
odds.
number. You sound shocked. That is the correct
Thank you
way to
very
play
much.
that
Good
game.
start to the show,
Thank
Greg.
You mentioned soccer, and there's a cliche in that sport, new manager bounce. It happens in hockey, too.
8 games remaining.
And I got to tell you, that weird thing that they did after they won their previous series where they closed the locker room and were they were galvanized by that, and they played. If you look at the analytics, this is a Kenny Atkinson thing. Analytically, this is not a sweep. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. But they have like 4 guys in front of the net. They're eating pucks. They're playing this gritty style. They have timely goalkeeping. They have timely goals. They're really efficient with their shots. Mitch Marner has been a revelation this postseason. I am really stunned by this. John Tortorella is now responsible for 2 of the 3 biggest upsets in the history of that sport. Remember, he was a Columbus Blue Jackets.
Bobrovsky.
He was a Columbus Blue Jackets head coach when they upset a record-setting Tampa Bay Lightning team, also a President's Trophy winner. And Tortorella just does this. He doesn't work over a long, sustained period of time. He kind of grinds his guys down, but in a short dose, kind of like Jose Mourinho. Like, he can just get everybody in a room all on the same page.
I was just going to say, like Mourinho.
United States of Tortorella?
There you go.
I would give Vegas respect in their short history. This is the 3rd time in 9 years they've made the final, so we're accustomed to them being a pretty good team. But this year, I think of the final 8, they had the biggest odds.
But can you guys give me
all.
some context here? I'm going to give you a little bit of history, okay? So Tortorella is 19-4-1 since getting there. That's crazy. It really is. It's nuts. And I don't want to understate how good Colorado was, not just this season, but before they got to Vegas. Like in the playoffs, before they got to Vegas, they had won 8 of their first 9 playoff games, and then they get swept. That does not happen, okay? This is the first time since 1980 that you lose 1 or fewer games in the first 2 rounds, and then you end up swept in this round.
Dan, after the first period, they said a stat that's the first time Vegas has led at the first intermission at home since March. Wow.
Yeah, like Colorado kind of got their ass kicked last night, but the first 3 games of the series, they were hard luck loser. Like they really outplayed Vegas. And you know, obviously no Cale Makar the first 2 games is a very big deal. Nathan McKinnon was hurt in game 3. It's a very big deal. But they had a lot of bad luck this series.
But if they win the title, I know it can be random. I know you usually need a hot goaltender. That's not what this team has needed. Like you guys explained to me, as people who know hockey better than I do, what's the context for a team that wouldn't be in the playoffs in the other conference, fires their coach a few games before the playoffs, and then knocks off the team that everyone was saying, well, they're clearly better than everybody?
The post-lockout LA Kings that I think it was their first cup when they were an 8 seed.
It was like 2011-ish, something
like
that?
They won fewer than half their games, and that's probably the closest comp to what we're seeing.
I was asking Mike this morning, has a team ever finished under 500 in the regular season like Vegas and won the Stanley Cup? And I'll check right now, but that's the only example that Mike thought of.
I would think that the answer is no. I would think they would be the first.
In this instance, I think the astonishing thing here is because you look at the roster, they've kept their core. That's a pretty loaded roster. It's a lot of talent. They added Mitch Marner in the offseason. I think the shocking thing is that they were so bad this season. They were very clearly underachieving. They couldn't beat good teams, and they had all this talent. And it wasn't like seasons before where they were just stashing guys on the long-term injury list. I don't know. They just found this extra gear, and credit to Tortorella for finding it. They're an absolute wagon right now. 3rd time in the Stanley Cup final. Carolina's been in the conversation for basically 2 decades. They are looking to tie the Vegas Golden Knights franchise for all-time Stanley Cup final appearances.
It makes no sense to me, though, okay? It makes no sense to me that you would say that a hockey team that is otherwise very talented fires its coach a few games before the playoffs. Tortorella comes in as a hard ass, gets fined $100,000 personally for freezing out the media. They get fined a draft pick. The galvanizing of all that, given what hockey players do for a living, you're giving emotion, energy, chemistry, some kind of value before the hockey playoffs that I do not give it because a coach walks into the room in a suit. Mark Malone got fired by the Denver Nuggets right before the playoffs. They didn't go on to the finals.
Michael.
They didn't go on. Thank you. I made him the mustachioed ex-quarterback of the Steelers, Mark Malone. They didn't go on to the finals, though. You don't fire your coach a few games before the playoffs and have it work. When does that work?
Well, the new coach bump, as Mike alluded
But when
to.
does that work? That doesn't work.
In that sport, quite a bit. I'll find you some historical references, but in that sport, there's a reason why Vegas did that, because historically it has had results.
And the other factor here is that teams down 3-0 just don't win. We saw it with the Cavaliers, and we saw it with Colorado. If you're down 3-0 mentally, you have given up. You know you have no chance.
Mike's right. The 2012 Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings only won 40 games that year.
But, like, we're rooting for Vegas, right? Like, for NBA fans, for fans of owners that make the right decisions, not these broke bitch owners. We cannot have the Carolina Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup. It would be an atrocity given what we're talking about with Tom Dundon running around, talking to Max Kellerman, talking to Rich Paul, running his mouth, saying, like, I'm smarter than you.
Dan, you know about those broke bitch owners?
I do know about those broke bitch owners. This is the rare cheap one. You don't get that very often from billionaires. But I enjoyed Trista's pantomiming of the sock puppet hand. Who was that? Who were you in person? Like the hand was the owner?
I think it was Kellerman. Oh, it was the owner?
It was Kellerman and yes.
Looked like Kellerman to me.
Yeah.
Which,
by the way, did you guys see Kellerman? It was at the risk of being dumped. Like, it was a full-throated filleting of an owner at the point where it was like, oh my, you turn the lights off when you leave the room? I never see owners do that, like, to be so rich and so strategic. Like, I thought you were just cheap, but oh my God, you're just efficient. Max, it was disgusting.
So it wasn't merely filleting, it was also full-throated.
Correct.
Wow.
For historical context, 2022, the last time an interim coach made it to the final. You just have to look to the other side of the bracket. Martin St. Louis with the Montreal Canadiens, that weird COVID year.
Fake season.
Weird COVID year where the Canadiens somehow won the Western Conference and played Tampa Bay.
I guess, yes, you are correct. The thing I would say to you, what doesn't work is Tortorella was, 6 games before the end of the season?
8
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
pretty well.
the part. It's not the interim coach, fired first half of the season.
No, it wasn't. St. Louis came in pretty late. Like, that February 9th is pretty late into the season.
It's a weird
Tortorella
hockey
was later.
thing. It's a really weird hockey thing.
New manager bounces happen all the time. Guys spark runs into the postseason. Again, a lot like soccer. Guys come in to avoid relegation. Teams get hot. They save for the next year. Then they flame out.
How many games do you think it takes for Tortorella to actually know the guys on his team's names by face? Like, he's standing on the bench. He could see the back of their jersey. He could see their names. But if he's standing in front of them, does he know who's who? How many games
This
does
is
that
a
take?
great question. Do you think in 8 games that a coach would actually know the names of the members of the staff? The players he's going to probably know. He's going to probably know the players. But there's a pretty good chance that Tortorella's still walking around calling people chief, right? Like people that he doesn't know or handsome, calling them something
pal.
other than their name because he doesn't know.
In his defense, I'm pretty sure he's always done that.
Yeah, probably. And to answer your question, Tristan, no, I can't root for Vegas because I can't be out here rooting for Tortorella. I can't. I've been against that kind of coach the entirety of my life. That kind of coach who's arrogant and thinks he's better than everybody and says, I'm going to come in and make my guys tougher while standing on the sidelines in a suit.
I just don't think we can allow for the Vegas Golden Knight fan to continue having this luck. Yeah. This is just BS.
It's bullshit. They've only been in the league for like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, good for them, though, right? I mean,
They put on a good show. Have you seen it live? Oh, my God. It's like Game of Thrones on ice.
Can I just comment on Greg Cody? It takes him a minute to get started up. Longtime columnist of the Miami Herald. His analysis on the Vegas Golden Knights was just good for them.
Well,
Lean back.
I respect a franchise that makes an immediate impact. They've been around 9 years. This is their 3rd final. You got to respect that.
I have no respect for that.
That's fine. I do. But in terms of the rooting interest, all of America should be rooting for the Montreal Canadiens.
That's right.
No.
That's
All
right.
of America should be rooting for
No,
Montreal.
we don't root for
Yes.
Canada.
Yes.
We root for America.
No, you root for the best story. You root
Montreal.
for the underdog.
That's
You
right.
root for the Canadian team.
Oh my!
You root for the Canadian team to win their first Stanley Cup since 1993. That's what you root for.
VGK's first season was in 2017. They made it to the Stanley Cup final.
Chris, can you please just cut up for me the sound of him?
Yes, I will. I'd pay you not to. Your inheritance goes up 10% if you
There's
don't.
no amount of money that you can pay me that will get us to not play that sound.
Don't make it right.
Put it in the club.
I don't think that as Americans we can root for Canada that invented hockey to win the cup when we own it. America owns the cup, and while I can't root for Tortorella, I can continue to somehow root for Carolina, and that puts me in a tough spot between the cheap owner and the jerk coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, oh, I gave them towels because I thought in hockey, like they shake the towels, and then I come into the Moda Center and they're not doing anything with the towels. Do you not have any respect for coming in and doing a little evaluation before you make changes? They want the T-shirts, Tom.
I'd like to go back to, without quite going as graphic as Ray J, I'd like to go back for a second to the Max Kellerman, Rich Paul interview. What were you expecting there? What do you want when you get an access to an owner? Did you find yourself getting disgusted as you were watching it that the whole thing was too soft? I haven't seen it. I just saw some of the quotes that seemed to humanize the owner a little more.
I think it was the editorializing. That was the part that I really was disgusted by. Rich Paul, fine. I don't care. Like, you're an agent. You have to have relationships. And by the way, a lot of people don't know that the Portland Trailblazers are kind of an extension of Clutch Sports. Tiago Splitter's a Clutch guy. Chauncey Billups is a Clutch guy. Shaden Sharp, Clutch guy. Scoot Henderson, Clutch guy. Jeremy Grant, I believe,
They've got
Clutch guy.
94 clients. 94 in the NBA players.
I think they're all on the Blazers. And so you've got Rich, who very easily could have some vested interest in connecting with Tom Dundon. Max Kellerman, you're a damn journalist. I don't care that you're near a Rich Paul. So it was like not just the softball questions, but it's like oh my God, I never really considered this about an owner like you. It was just this dripping with compliments and editorializing. We have to probably find some of the bites because it will disgust you all.
Do you guys believe that that's how all the employees are with the owners? Do you believe that the owner has any sort of connection to reality when he walks through a room that has employees in it?
I think you tend to give a little bit of respect, not always earned, to an owner when you're in his company. I rip Bruce Sherman all the time for not spending any money on the Marlins. If I were sitting face to face with him, I would probably be more polite than I want to be, simply because it's the owner. You have access to him.
Fear.
You got to respect that as well.
Fear. You've got fear.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's fear. I think it's respecting the access and not wanting to cut that off.
Fear of losing the access.
Well, okay, that's fair. Fear is a little bit of a strong word, but I'm not going to lead that interview by saying, why the hell are you so cheap? Why are you consistently the 29th owner in paying players? I mean, why? You have to softball it a little bit when you're doing an interview like that.
But you got to get to it at some
yes,
point.
You have to get to it, but you have to softball it in a way that doesn't put him on his guard and all defensive right from the get-go.
Yeah, the rope-a-dope makes sense to me, but the interview just ended without any of those questions.
Okay.
I would love for Greg just to look Bruce Sherman in the face and say, why are you so cheap?
I would say that without saying it. Trust me.
I think that you would get into an interview with Bruce Sherman, and this is how it would go.
You root for the Canadian team.
Oh, my.
I'm getting all choked up. You root for the Canadian team.
What was that word?
I speak Greg. I'm getting all choked up.
You can translate?
Yeah, you guys didn't hear. I heard that as clear as possible.
I think you're right.
It's him saying, "I'm getting all
I
choked up
think
talking about it."
you're fluent about your dad's just general illness.
You root for the Canadian team.
Oh my!
I'm getting all choked up. You root for the Canadian team. Okay, so you have me discussing the Montreal Canadiens with Bruce Sherman. Okay, it makes sense.
In this century, there have been 3 interim coaches in the NHL to take their teams. I was actually off by a year on Martin St. Louis, so I want to clean that up. But Craig Berube with the St. Louis Blues, an even more improbable Stanley Cup final appearance than what we're seeing right now with Vegas, because they were a huge long shot. I think in this century, the longest odds to win the Stanley Cup.
They were like last at the All-Star break.
Yeah, it was a crazy turnaround. Dan Bielsma from Pittsburgh and Larry Robinson with the New Jersey Devils at the start of the century as well.
I just want to rewind for a second here, Greg, and I'd like to ask all of you, because I know we run a bit of a sloppy outfit around here, but have you guys ever heard anywhere else on broadcast television during anything live that you've been watching during programming that sounded anything like this?
You root for the Canadian team.
Oh my!
I'm getting all choked up. You root for the Canadian team.
It sounds like the Penguins saying, "Get me the Joker."
I'm getting all choked up.
Why has
like
this
that.
never happened in the history of broadcasting that any of us can remember? Like, while you guys are is it because no one's got a cough? Like, is it because everyone will gather themselves, hit a cough button, and not do that?
Yes.
Can I tell you, I thought about exactly what you're saying for years when I was on the Miami Heat broadcast, all right? Not, why didn't Mike Inglis get choked up or anything like that mid-sentence? How did it never happen to Mike Biamonte? He's in the middle of, saying who scored or...
Do it!
That didn't happen once?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Help me. I'm getting choked up here. In the meantime.
That was really something I thought about.
Well, I want you guys to just have wash over you. Of all the broadcasts in all of history where all the people are talking into microphones, why have you never heard anywhere but here something like this?
I'm getting all choked up.
Because typically this is a meritocracy.
Plus, I don't want to brag, but I'm at the forefront of that. I invented that. It's not purposeful, but when it happens, the problem is on my own podcast. Every couple of episodes, I cough like that because I have conditions that cause that. And it's an edited podcast, and I always immediately say, Yeti, edit that out, and he never does.
No, you never do. And it's happened to me. I was choking on a peanut one time.
On a what?
Hey yo!
Full-throated. I was choking on a peanut one time. It's also happened famously to Bomani Jones.
Welcome
Really?
back to the right time. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Excuse me. Help me. Oh.
You say help
Welcome
me?
back to the right time with Bomani Jones here. We're going to be joined by Brian Windhorst, our insider at ESPN, here very shortly.
I'm good. Something got caught down my throat. Sorry about that, Brian. In the meantime, how do the Cavs not have a general manager right now?
John Hollinger said to Colin Cowherd about Giannis Antetokounmpo, quote, "I think Miami is still the most likely destination. They have the best combinations of assets and desperation. It'd be Giannis and Bam. They'd be a pretty good fit together. It just seems to make more sense to me. If I had to put $1 on one team, I would say Miami." And I just ask you guys.
Big gambler.
I ask you guys this sincerely. John Hollinger, while he was one of the original analytics guys, while he also worked for an NBA team, what is, and I'm asking this question sincerely, it's not to smear him, what is his credibility here on actually having information? Is this just an opinion, or do you believe that he has information? Because a lot of people are talking about this, and everyone keeps saying Miami's got the most assets, and I'm like, not really. I don't think so. I think Boston's got more assets. I think OKC has more assets. What am I missing?
I don't think you're missing anything. I think there's a caveat, maybe an understood caveat, that these other teams are not going to be as aggressive as Miami.
Right.
That the market may not be as big as we thought it was going to be. I think when someone like Hollinger, who again, I have no idea what information he has, but I think we're reading the tea leaves as well.
What was that?
I'm good. Some just got down the throat.
Because Boston's got more assets, especially if they throw Jaylen Brown in. And I dare say, maybe not if they don't throw Jaylen Brown in, but if Jaylen Brown is thrown into the deal, they're obviously offering more than the Miami Heat would be offering.
But I don't
more value.
I don't think Milwaukee would want Jaylen Brown. It would be a situation where they would then flip Jaylen Brown somewhere else. Because if you're a team that's rebuilding, like Milwaukee's going to rebuild. That's why you're going to trade Giannis. You use him for the rebuild. You don't rebuild while acquiring a guy who's owed $300 million. Like that's not how you rebuild.
Yeah, I think it's analytics and cap analyzation really for John. I don't think he's going to be the insider to deliver some sort of news that you would get from, I don't know, like Barry Jackson or something. No shade to Barry Jackson. But I think truly that would be a three-way trade, Zaz. There's now a lot of news that Portland's trying to get in the mix, not to make it about Portland, to try to get Jaylen Brown. And then Milwaukee would want their 2 first-round picks in the future back, which is exactly what a rebuilding team would want.
Yeah.
And then, Miami or Boston.
Well, but I don't. When you guys keep doing this with desperation and Miami, I don't believe you guys have noticed the desperation that has just fallen on Boston. They've fallen behind a New York team that was built to beat them. They have to fix that. Like that is not an executive of the year in Brad Stevens who says that what I have is good enough when it loses in the first round to Embiid. Like they've got a decent amount of desperation.
I don't even think it's just about Brad Stevens. The thing that I think makes Boston a major player when it comes to Giannis is this is new ownership. This ownership hasn't won a championship. The other ownership won a championship with Tatum and Brown, and they just saw what the last couple years have looked like, including this one where they flame out in the first round, and they may say, yeah, I don't think this is good enough. Let's go get Giannis, because we haven't won anything yet.
There is some grain of salt news on the Miami Heat's pursuit of Giannis, according to a longtime NBA writer. And the grain of salt is because his name is Jerry, but he spells it with a G. I don't like that. Jerry Wolfel. He alleges, or he is reporting that the Miami Heat have made their final offer when it comes to their pursuit of Giannis, which would be Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, and 3 draft picks.
I'm calling bullshit.
3 first rounds.
You're calling bullshit?
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit.
I mean, that's a haul. It is a haul. I'm not sure that Milwaukee wouldn't want Jaylen Brown's contract, but would want Tyler Hero's. I'm not sure about that.
1 year left on the deal, hometown kid.
Right.
But the 1 year left is more important. Like, it helps you either then trade him at some point or just get the money off your books in a year from now.
And a big salary.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like the reason I say I'm calling bullshit is because, like, how do you know it's Heat's final offer? It's their final offer?
Yeah, you don't know that.
Like, the season isn't even over yet, technically. The league year hasn't even started. Final offer.
A helpful note, though, it seemed as though from Jimmy Haslam's most recent quotes that are public record, it seemed like they wanted to have this in place well before the draft.
I understand, but okay, so we get to the day that the Bucks are going to make their final decision, and they call Miami like, hey, we're thinking this now, and the Heat just let the Heat hang up the phone right after they say, no, we already give you our final offer. I don't buy it. I'm sorry.
Bam Adebayo just won the NBA's Social Justice Award. Do you guys know who that's named after? Because in the NFL, the Walter Payton Award is something that is a known thing. Everyone is fighting to get it. I'm not sure that people have much context for what Bam just won as somebody who is a pillar of professionalism in Miami and the face of the franchise.
Right, for sure. I think it's named after, and if it isn't, it should be Bill Russell.
Malcolm X.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow.
Is the correct answer.
Russell got screwed.
But nation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's nation, right?
I mean, Bill does have another award named after him. It'd be weird to have multiple awards named after you.
Got to.
Get confusing,
He
you think.
deserves it.
Again, Boston fans shit in his bed.
Can I hear Dan choking on a peanut, by the way?
The discussion that we have that makes this complicated is that Shaq makes the sidekick so much better
Shaq makes the sidekick so much better as Dan is choking on a peanut right now. That is my memorable moment ever.
I had a peanut shell morsel stuck in my throat. That's the only way to shut me up right there.
Didn't even sound like you. Your voice was high.
I
You're on
sound so
helium.
much younger and thinner there.
Well, younger.
Helium.
Does weight add baritone to the voice?
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does weight add baritone to the voice? Yes or no? Because I do think I sound younger and thinner there. I don't think that there's any sort of question about that.
I mean, who among us, right? Yeah. That was 20 years ago. We've all been through so much.
I want to get to this story involving Jason Williams. Jason Williams, a part of a champion down here in Miami. I think Miami fans have really fond memories of white chocolate and that season, the 2006 season, where they just put together a hodgepodge of people, Antoine Walker, Jason Williams, and they just said, Shaq, Dwayne, you guys figure it out.
Doesn't the story go that after the Heat won that championship and they're in the locker room celebrating with all the champagne, that Jason Williams is just running around yelling, "I'm not a cancer"?
I was in that locker room and did not hear that. What I remember about that locker room is Udonis Haslem weeping. It's not something that I had seen before, having covered him since high school. But Jason Williams is pretty much always honest. And you're not going to find a lot of examples of publicly when speaking to the press. And you're not going to find a lot of examples of what's presently happening with him. Greg, are you familiar with this story at all where you've got, I think I could say that Jason Williams is a University of Florida legend.
He is.
Can I not say that?
Is he? Really?
Like he's got a relationship with the school or had a relationship with the school. And what is
He goes to games still.
What is presently happening with his daughter, a softball player, has him at odds with his school in a way that has him saying he's simply not going back to campus anymore. How many times was his daughter hit with a pitch in softball?
It was in a 3-game series 5 times. His daughter, who played at Florida for a couple seasons, transferred to Texas Tech. They end up in a regional 3-game series to get to the college softball World Series. And it was just, like I said, 5 times throughout the series she's hit. So there's a lot of jawing going back and forth. You see the B-roll here. At one point, Jason Williams and other people were kicked out. Jason, I think because of who he was allowed back in. So what you're looking at here is late in the game when they're up in the 3rd game, he starts doing a Gators chomp. He's taunting the other dugout. Florida,
and this game is in Gainesville.
Yes, in Gainesville. Florida ends up losing to Texas Tech. Texas Tech makes it to the World Series. The Florida Gators don't shake hands after the game. It was just a very tense series.
Yeah, it was really ugly, and the fans were throwing things at Jason Williams' family during the games, on top of what seems to be a lot of bad blood from Mia Williams transferring last year.
He also did a selfie video right after what you're looking at here.
I think the next day he did this.
Well, I don't know, whatever, but it was after the game. It seems like it's at the ballpark right after. In here, he gives a little bit of an apology at the end, so I think since then he has said he's not going back, but this is what he said after.
Especially proud of my daughter going back to Florida and doing what she did, going through the shit that she went through this past weekend. If you guys watched the game, you guys see how them Florida Gators acted at the end of the game. They didn't really want to shake hands. They didn't want to do none of that. The crowd tried to get me ejected, this, that, and the third. Some fans hit my youngest daughter with some objects. We were asked if we wanted to press charges. Nah, we ain't about that. Let that little old lady live, man. She ain't got much longer to go. She was just mad that the Gators was losing. Look, we moving on to the World Series. We want to do what's right. You know what I'm saying? We were cheering for our team. They was cheering for their teams. Things got out of hand. They said some stuff that they weren't supposed to say. We said some stuff we probably wasn't supposed to say. And that's just sports. That's what time it is. God knows what time it is in between the lines. So with that all being said, man, I just want everybody to know I'm happy we won. You know, I'm a Florida Gator in my blood. Without Florida, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So we're sorry from our side. That's all I can say. And rep them.
So an apology there, but I think he has since said that he's not going to go back.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is ending anytime soon. It's kind of a shame because he said yesterday he's never going to go back on campus again unless it's to watch his daughter play softball, and the whole thing's a bad look for multiple parties involved.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does God know what time it is between the lines? Greg Cody, you are our Dolphin expert, and I don't want to leave the local hour without honoring Manny Fernandez. I don't know if I could say the 1972 Dolphins are the greatest team in South Florida history. I think locally I would do what NFL Films does every time they rank the greatest teams of all time. They put the undefeated Dolphins like 4th or 5th, even though they're the only team to ever go unbeaten. But I think we would choose the LeBron, Wade, Bosch teams if we had to choose from all of sports.
In the pro ranks?
Maybe the University of Miami, but in terms of what the history is in this market, Manny Fernandez, as somebody who had the Fernandez name in Miami in 1972 as part of an undefeated legacy, I'd just like to give the floor to Greg Cody as somebody who literally wrote the book on 50 years of Dolphins football.
Yeah, he was a guy that he was of Mexican descent. His teammates used to lovingly refer to him as Taco. And he was one of these players. He didn't make that. He only played 8 seasons because of injuries. He wasn't an All-Pro every year or anything like that. But in 2 Super Bowls in a row, he really rose up. I was just speaking to Larry Zonka about it yesterday, and he was a beloved player. And too many of those guys are dying. He died at 79 in a small town in Georgia. And he is one of the all-time great Dolphin players. I don't think he gets enough attention for that, but he is. And sometimes posthumously, you appreciate more than you do beforehand.
Cyclones probably in that class, greatest teams of all time.
Zaz would be the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that lovingly names someone with the last name Fernandez as Taco.
Yeah.
It is racist. You throwing the lovingly in front of it doesn't make it less
insane.
racist.
I think it does. I think it does.
Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia.
that's what you were going to say. You
Yes.
weren't going to say Cyclones. You were going to. You were afraid. You were afraid of the somber tone. You were afraid of the somber tone.
Your brain beat me.
On this Cash Money Records episode of the Alley Oop, Kenny Atkinson, peace out.
Bling, bling.
Donovan Mitchell, peace out.
Every time I come around, you said he bling, bling. Also, Juju makes the most lukewarm finals prediction I've ever heard. He says, I'm kind of, sort of ready to say that this team is going to win it all. Lock in. We went off in the full episode.
Man, this full conversation was one for the books, bruh.
What is the Nick Bobic?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobic. Banana Bofic. Me, my Momic. Nick.
Rosanna, Babana, Rosanna, Babana, Rosanna, Babana.
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna, Babana,
Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Let's go States. We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. But don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on? Do you like
dangling?
Breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
sexy
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many times.
Little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Yesterday on the show, we had a 100% innocent mistake that resulted in the worst and funniest poll question in our show's history. The number of things that have to be going on both locally and in the world for Juju to not know who Hamas is, the Colombian soccer player, and put up a poll. It was so 100% innocent that it somehow is less offensive than Manny Fernandez's teammates calling him Taco because he was Mexican. I can't believe that Cody is just sitting here giving.
They meant it lovingly.
I knew something was off when 80% was no. I mean, really? You've never been to Miami. There are Hamas jerseys everywhere. And I'm like, maybe they think it's a LeBron James. Maybe that's the thing. And I look over, I see Hamas.
The number of things that have to be happening both in the studio, like what are the chances? We haven't talked about Hamas in 20 years doing this show. We haven't talked about the Colombian soccer player Hamas.
I mean, I can understand the mistake if you're not familiar with James Rodriguez.
Mike did say everyone should have a Hamas jersey.
I did.
I was like, damn, how else would you spell this?
Hamas does sound right.
That's clearly Hamas.
I don't think that anyone listening to this would read the word James and pronounce it Hamas. What it says on the back of his jersey, the first time I saw it, I'm like, why is there a Colombian guy running around out there named James? Like, all these Brazilian players have just one name on their jersey. How's the Colombian guy named James?
It's his first name. It should be Rodriguez, right?
I would like to formally ask the entire audience for your forgiveness. Out of bounds off my leg. Sorry about that, Coach.
We're going to get to basketball from last night in a second, but just going back for a second.
Damn, the 20% that said yes.
There we are.
A little low.
Getting back to Manny Fernandez, he played as a defensive lineman at 6'2", 250 pounds, which tells you how much the game has changed. They're now 100 pounds heavier than that. But can you guys put up for me the picture of Manny Fernandez again? This facial hair look, is anyone rocking this? Because, I could see Stavi doing this, but, is anyone else rocking this particular look of full beard except for the chin, which is bare? There's no one doing that, correct? That's not a look that anyone chooses with their facial hair to just shave their chin.
Those are called mutton chops, right?
But those mutton chops go into the mustache.
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
think of
weird look.
I don't think of mutton chops connecting to the mustache, and I don't know why they're called mutton chops either. I don't know the origins of the mutton chop, but those are those are untamed mutton chops because connecting to the mustache is not something I've seen very often.
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Clouds.
That's a good one. His chin is so pristinely shaved, though. And the rest of what he's got going on there. Cody, did you say everything you wanted to say? Because we started making jokes at the end of that. And this is somebody who locally meant a lot to people for a lot of reasons, even though your son had never heard his name before you started uttering it after he passed away.
Well, he was one of the leaders of what was called the no-name defense. So by the very moniker, there weren't a lot of superstars on that defense. The stars were on offense: Paul Warfield, Larry Zonka, and Manny Fernandez had his best career games in the Super Bowl. So on the biggest stage, he rose to his highest level of play. And I don't know that they would have won the 72 and 73 Super Bowls unless he rose like that on defense. Maybe they would have, but maybe they wouldn't have. He was that good.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me is his stats in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl 7 where they beat Washington, he had, as a defensive tackle, 17 tackles and a sack, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mutton chops were originally a style of facial hair popularly worn in England, but its popularity spread to North America by the early 1800s. If mutton chops are connected by a mustache, they are known as friendly mutton chops.
Wow.
Put it on the poll. Excellent work by you using
Yes.
the internet correctly. Did you know that there were friendly mutton chops at Le Batard Show? You should check out Tristan Juju after NBA playoff games
Speaking of mutton chops.
at DLS Hoops on our YouTube page. Can you guys tell me from last night's game what stood out to you? Because villainous Wemby is something that I'm enjoying, and Wemby whispering with his hand covered to Biyombo. I don't know when this started. I know the Miami Heat were covered in a way in 2010 that had Wade and LeBron always putting their jerseys over their mouth, but I think soccer players were doing it before that. I don't think that Wade and LeBron were inventing the idea of I don't want anybody and all of these cameras to be able to read my lips. But Wembanyama is covering his mouth with his hand as he talks to Biyombo and Plumlee, and then after that, they start hard fouling like crazy because this series is going to keep escalating. These guys, both of these sides, you got a champion, a proud champion, that looks over at the other side, and before last night's game, Wemby was mortal last night and was -8. But the numbers in the series going into the game, when Wemby's on the court, the Spurs are +50 over the defending champion. When he's not, they're -46 going into the game. It means that anytime Wemby rests, everything's at the rim for OKC. They do whatever they want, and they're the champions when Wemby's not out there. But last night was weird because Wemby doesn't look like that very often and was frustrated enough that he sent Biyombo, it looks like he sent Biyombo and Plumlee out there to start hard fouling, and then they did.
There's no other way to see that. He whispers in the ear of Biyombo, who, has a history of
And Plumlee.
Yeah, who has a history of being questionable when it comes to the dirty play. And both Plumlee and Biyombo immediately commit hard fouls. Look, Jared McCain was the one who took the hard fouls from both of them, and one of them that sent McCain to the free throw line. Listen to Jared McCain. So this is after the game. McCain was asked about the hard fouls.
That was crazy. I didn't expect it, obviously. We were at the free throw line, too, and I was like, why'd you do that, man? I'm just asking him a question, and he was like, I got another one for you, too. I'm like, all right, damn, let me to the corner real quick. Let's finish this game out. But, it's all in competition, so got to respect it. But definitely wasn't aware that my team told me after, just get to the corner at the end of the game like that.
I really don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it because this is San Antonio's response to what they believe has been dirty play by the Thunder throughout the series. So, is it okay what the Spurs did last night in a vacuum? No, but we're not living in a vacuum. The Thunder have played dirty, specifically Hartenstein, specifically Holmgren. They have played dirty throughout the series, and Wembanyama was clearly frustrated all of last night, and this was his response to it was, hey, listen, go use your fouls.
Yeah, the same way that hockey has its goons, I think basketball should have more of this. Like, hey, number 35 is doing a little too much.
Yeah.
Plumlee, do what you do.
That's what it used to be.
Right, right.
I mean, you remember back in the playoffs in 2013 with the Heat, like Tyler Hansbrough made Dwayne Wade bleed from a hard foul. So guess what? Haslam's checking in now. You're going to get 2 arms coming down on your head.
I don't mind that Wemby has a villainous side that we're beginning to see a little bit. I think that that's good. I think that that's good for his image, if anything. But Wemby, everybody's bragging about, is he too good? Is he going to change the league because nobody can keep up with him? When you have a rare bad game and you go 4 for 15 or whatever it was, talk to the media afterwards. Address the fans and the world afterward, not just when you do well. I think that's classless when he didn't avail himself after last
And
night.
then you've got the media being like, oh, I hope Wemby's okay.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's like, a lot of times these things happen for stars like Wemby, and they have an emergency. There's probably a family emergency. When you don't
because they said Wembanyama's not going to be available.
Correct. And when you see a star that everyone loves and you don't like that star, it's very easy to see when the rose-colored glasses come on for things that on another player would be completely crushed by.
At Le Batard Show, is the media treating Wemby like a 7'3" Fabergé egg?
There was a lot of interesting stuff that happened kind of outside the lines and after the game. But for me, the game was kind of interesting in that it was a laborious watch.
That was not a good game.
The pacing of that game was, look, the style of play, we all get that. I'm not going to get too much into the OKC thing and the foul calls. But on top of what is already working against this series when it comes to the whistle having so much power, it was just sloppy. Both teams were really sloppy with the ball. There were opportunities for San Antonio to get back in this game, and they were really careless with the ball. And back to the whistle, there was one sequence where you're like, all right, I'll just turn this game off because it's not fun to watch. And when there was that non-goaltending call, OKC takes it the other way, and then the fiasco of the ball rolling off of OKC. San Antonio trying to challenge it, being smart enough to get a sub in to buy more time to get it right, and then being totally ignored, and then getting a technical for the officials not doing their job. You knew right there that it was over. Now, the goaltending missed call, I kind of understand it because you could.
I don't understand it.
Well, it was clearly goaltending, but what might have also been goaltending was Cornette trying to get the ball on the rim.
Okay, I don't agree with that, but even if you're right, something happened there.
Yeah, something happened. There was a goaltend. Hell, there might have been 2, and instead it just goes to OKC, and then back the other way, a bad call goes their way. It's really unfortunate when I know the free throws don't tell the story, but felt like OKC got the friendlier whistle again.
They did.
But also, you got to understand that if you're San Antonio, they were playing super aggressive. I hate it when a dude that weighs, 225 pounds, that's 6'5", goes flying just because someone puts a hip in.
You're talking about Lugan Stewart.
Yeah. Like
he falls every time someone touches him. I guarantee that guy's a brick wall. I guarantee you, Mike, if most of these NBA players, if Lou Dort is standing stationary and most of these NBA players run full speed into him, he will not fall down.
I saw Lou Dort at Las Vegas Summer League with a white T-shirt on, and it's a core memory. It's literally now embedded into my brain. His back muscles have back muscles on top of them. I've never seen a more jacked, ripped human being like Myles Garrett, but on a basketball court.
Castle's also got to do a better job, too. I got a little annoyed with SGA and Castle just on the perimeter, and it's not like Castle's running through SGA, but you give them a little bit, and SGA will go flying, and they give them the call. I would like to see them play a little bit more, but if this is going to be the way that it goes, clean it up. Like, understand that that's the whistle. Don't be super aggressive. Don't over-pursue. And when you have the chances to get back in the game, don't be so sloppy with the ball. It was a missed opportunity because SGA wasn't very good. He was living at the line, and that was how he was getting in his rhythm. He never looked right the entire game. That should have been a San Antonio win, but they were too sloppy with it, and they blew it, and they might have blown the series.
If the Spurs are to win the series, they will be the first team in 2 years to beat them back-to-back. You cannot beat them back-to-back in the postseason.
And the final game has to be at home.
OKC does not get beaten back-to-back. I've got a couple of things that I want to clean up here, though, and I want to ask you guys this question. Juju, you are doing our basketball expertise for us. If you had to take a guess, the entire postseason, just off the top of your head, fast as you can answer, give me a number. How many close games have there been? The entire NBA postseason, give me a number.
6.
I think it's 4. Like, I'm just doing it off the top of my head, and I think it's 4, and I don't know. Juju might be right, but I'm sitting there. The Atlanta-New York series had 2 of them, and you had Cleveland and Toronto.
What do we consider close?
Yeah, define that.
Houston, LA played probably the best game of the postseason.
Not many is the answer to the question, whether it's 4 or 6. I think this is the new thing, though. I think this is the new normal when it comes to the sport and the three-pointer and how things get distorted.
Well, and that's the question. I was asking this to Tony and Juju last night on the Alley-Oop post-game live stream, which you can find on Thursday night after the game as well. But for 2 teams that we thought were going to be this heavyweight fight, 2 evenly matched squads in the San Antonio Spurs and the OKC Thunder. Outside of game 1, every game has been a blowout, even though they're so closely matched. Why do you guys think that is?
I don't think I can answer that well, except to say the three-pointer is distorting everything. I don't have a better answer than that. I'd like to hear a better answer than that, because I do believe I've had 2 postseasons of this now. I miss the buzzer beaters. Like, I miss the shots at the end of games.
God bless Halliburton.
I miss
what a gift he gave us
20
last year.
seconds left, and everyone's watching the same game, and everyone's a little bit scared.
I miss 5 lead changes in the fourth quarter.
Right.
You don't get any of that anymore.
Yeah, I miss the last minute of a game taking 5 minutes in real time because there's so many timeouts because everything is so tense and teetering.
This has been going on for a few years, though. This is not new. Like, this has been happening for, I'd say, closer to 8 or 9 years.
Oh, but I think it's with the advent of people shooting more and more threes, taking 50 threes a game. And if one team makes 20 of them and the other team makes 11, there's your discrepancy. I have a couple of other questions, though. Chris, based on hearing the McCain sound, his voice sounds like sunshine. He sounds like a cartoon animal that I fell in love with. It's the perfect way to handle, telling this story is the perfect way to handle the diffusing of the bomb of Biyombo and Plumlee are out there only to foul me.
That was crazy. I didn't expect it, obviously. We were at the free throw line, too, and I was like, why'd you do that, man? I'm just asking him a question, and he was like, I got another one for you, too. I'm like, all right, damn, let me to the corner real quick. Let's finish this game out. But, it's all in competition, so got to respect it. But definitely wasn't aware that my team told me after, just get to the corner at the end of the game.
Juju, I want to go back to a moment earlier. We were talking about him whispering to Biyombo, and then Chris Cody shouted, and Plumlee, and you thanked Chris Cody.
Exactly. Biyombo ain't even the culprit of this. We just see the brother and be like, oh, Biyombo, what Biyombo out there doing?
Yes,
no.
Plumlee's was way worse, the foul. It was like an elbow in the back.
And I'm grateful because I'm learning they're both in the league.
I think, though, to the Thunder's credit, they got under Wemby's skin. I think last night is proof of that. In the first half, he shoulders bumped the hell out of Chet going back to the timeout. And a lot of his aggression throughout that game, it didn't seem as even keeled as it always is. And I think it reflected in that first half by him taking like 3 shots. Like, what are you doing? This is for the chip now. This boy is not aggressive. I think them boys got in his head. Hartenstein deserves credit for that.
Should De'Aaron Fox be out there? Clearly not the same kind of player. Like, he is stinky, and he has reasons to be. That's a tough injury, but I think they navigated his absence fine. And I don't think he's helping.
No, Mike, he's got to be out there because Castle had 21 turnovers in 2 games, and that's how OKC beats you. Like, they go the other way and they go get the easy baskets.
Is there nothing else? Because Fox isn't giving them much.
I mean, he had 8 assists and only 1 turnover, so I think he's serving his purpose there. If he's struggling so much, he probably can't shoot the ball 15 times.
I'm going to say, though, the number again. 21 turnovers in 2 games. You cannot play OKC without a point guard. That's not that's a recipe for disaster. You will not beat them in 7 games if you don't have somebody who just is careful with the basketball.
Look, tomorrow night is obviously awesome because it's a game 6 and the Spurs, can they force a game 7? But we're going to watch Wembanyama who has been out of this world 2 of the 5 games of this series, both of which were wins. And we're going to see him in an elimination game for the very first time in his career. And it's coming off of a very poor game. So,
well, second time. He did make it to the IST final.
It's for the season. The next game's for the season. I did mention at the beginning of this series, that double overtime game, the depth of OKC. They will wear you down over the course of a series. That's more minutes than all of those guys had played to start that series. OKC makes these things difficult. They're a proud champion. They don't mind playing ugly basketball, and they don't mind sending Biyombo and Plumlee out there to just retaliate to what was in game 2. Hartenstein was not playing basketball.
Plumlee and Biyombo sounds like the worst accounting firm.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you trust Plumlee and Biyombo with your accident needs?
I think the importance of De'Aaron Fox, it just comes in and shines through. Like last night, Dylan Harper had momentum swinging turnovers, bro, in the backcourt one-on-one. You can't have those type of mistakes at this stage and not throw De'Aaron Fox out there. Even with a
but this is part of why it is, okay, that I believe the Knicks are really enjoying what's happening in this series, because Harper's not healthy either, right? Like this series, it cannot be covered enough, okay? I keep saying broken basketball is breaking its players. We've talked for 2 years now about the way the style of play, the pace is affecting ligaments on people who are way too thin and long, and the way that they're playing affects injuries.
Way too thin and long.
And the Knicks are playing against 2 teams that might limp into the game against them, or into the finals against them. Who was the broadcaster these days, though? I'm giving you who is the guy or woman doing games right now saying the dumbest shit? Because Reggie Miller has said something here, and I don't know what DraftKings is putting the odds at. Can you guys tell me what kind of underdog the Knicks are going to be against either OKC or the Spurs? But here's Reggie Miller saying something that makes me think he doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
Whoever wins this series, I've seen enough from the Knicks. The Knicks are going to be favored in the finals to win it all. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay, they're going to be a massive underdog.
Yeah, right.
0 chance.
We have ways of looking this up, Reg. They are presently not favored right now, even though there's an active series going on.
Massive underdog.
I happen to agree with Reggie, though. I don't. Look,
That's just an opinion, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the sports book will reflect.
Right.
But at the same time, if you look at the matchups right now with the turnovers from the Spurs, and then this overall softness of the Thunder, like Chet got his chest went through yesterday 2 times. Once by Keldon Johnson and once by Wemby for no reason, just because he wanted to. I think that's going to shine through at the next level, because OKC relies on, feel for us. And New York is coming straight at you no matter what.
There's nothing wrong with anything you just said. It's your opinion. You may end up being right. But you can't say that the Knicks are going to be favored, because they're not. They're going to be a massive underdog.
You cannot, Juju, agree with Reggie Miller when he is simply factually wrong. Like, he can have his opinion on whether he thinks the Knicks are going to win.
The difference here is Juju saying they should be favored.
I don't even think Juju's saying
well,
that.
That's what he kind of just said they're going to.
I think they should be, just because I'm the.
You think they're going to win?
And Reggie Miller's like, they will be, which they won't.
I've seen enough. They're favored.
Well,
DraftKings actually likes the Knicks a little bit more than other books. They're presently plus 205. They've only gone up a little bit since yesterday.
It's a pretty big underdog.
That is, and keep in mind, it'll go up once if OKC wins this. The only way it goes down is if it's the Spurs.
I mean, Reggie also a couple months ago said that Derrick Rose battled LeBron James for best player in the league for 8 years.
You've been holding it against him since he said it on the Dan Patrick Show. But answer my question. Who's the broadcaster right now saying the dumbest shit? Like, just during games, the one anywhere.
Dan, I knew you were talking
Draymond.
about I knew you were talking about Reggie when you started asking the question. I'm like, ask everybody back here. This is a Reggie Miller question.
You're doing predictions on where it is that I'm headed?
DK prediction market. I knew right away you were transitioning to Reggie Miller. I did appreciate Jamal Crawford when they were talking about the goaltend invoking the Pacers-Pistons series. Just a laugh at Reggie Miller because of Tayshaun Prince.
Trista, can you get people updated on what Draymond Green is doing? Because I wouldn't put him in the category because he's not doing games. He's doing studio show. But Draymond Green recently did something, or I guess last night did something, that I just simply haven't seen a whole lot of athletes do. And Draymond Green might be the king in sports of I don't give an F. He is basically threatening the children. This is just not this is not normal behavior. Draymond Green is on social media threatening the children of someone on Twitter who has children in his avatar. What has he written? What is the direct quote from Draymond Green as he goes after not a fan, but a fan's children?
He said, "Watch your mouth before I crush those dirty ass kids in your banner." And I was like, let me click on this person's. It is
as we all did.
Check out dirty.
We all clicked on it.
Are they dirty? Do they just? I think he just thought they were giving dirty. It was the aura of dirty, and crushing them is crazy.
I think somebody should Jackson Dart question him, like, hey, what did you mean by crushing
what we doing,
those kids?
man?
Yeah.
Now, the fan did write, come outside, B word. Does that make... I'm not... like, I don't go after the kids, is my point. You can have a snarky response here, just don't go after the kids, right?
I think this is once again working against Draymond in that he's not Shaq or Barkley. Because Shaq could say that, and I think we'd all laugh.
Yeah, right.
In fact, I'm pretty sure Shaq says that regularly.
I think if Shaq stood in front of me right now and said that, I think it's hilarious.
But remember, like, this kind of reminds me of Dan Bernstein from 670 The Score, like 12 months ago. He came after a fan on Twitter, and he then, like, threatened his family, and he was, like, immediately fired from 670 The Score. Like, you just can't come after fans and physically threaten them, especially kids. Like, I saw that, and I was like, oh, this is a Dan Bernstein situation. And then it just happened, and people went about their life, and I was like, oh, Draymond just being Draymond.
87,000 likes, by the way, on that comment.
People liked it.
Give me the stat of the day music, please.
Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day.
For the price of a Knicks finals ticket, you can buy a 4-bedroom house in Oklahoma City.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know that for the price of a Knicks finals ticket, you can buy a 4-bedroom house in Oklahoma City? Juju just mentioned Jackson Dart again, and I wanted to circle back on that from yesterday. For those of you who do not know, and I don't know what Greg Cody's opinions are on this, he's leaning into the microphone, which makes me think he might be about to give me some of his opinions on this. I have heard his nostrils, a bit of a canopy over his mouth, breathing into the microphone when I don't want to hear from him, and I've heard him back away from the microphone when I do want to hear from him.
Yeah, I'll play it safe and just start talking like this the whole time.
Did you have any thoughts on Jackson Dart at a rally for Donald Trump deciding to inform America that he was going to create headlines of distraction that the Giants don't need by aligning himself with a political allegiance that most of the country at this point, polling shows, is not on the side of the corrupt criminal entity presently running our country?
Right. Yeah, Jackson Dart takes a chance by coming out on that side of the political spectrum. And now he may have to pay the price for it, which will be, why? Why do you support this guy when he's done this, this, and the other, and he's associated with this, this, and the other, and Epstein and all this stuff? Whether or not the New York, New Jersey media approaches Dart with these questions, I don't know. I'll be interested to find out.
You have to. You have to. New York media, I am imploring you. New York media, ask him specific questions. How do you feel about January 6th? How do you feel about the Epstein file? Keep asking him questions. He invited this. Ask him the difficult questions. New York media, don't go soft on me now. The only quarterback you got in town invited this. Ask him the questions and don't let him slip away with, well, I respect the office. No. Answer these specific questions, not with no comments. You invited this.
Okay, I'm speaking as somebody who's maybe in the room listening to the questions or even asking the question. I think the question will be broader than that. I think the question will be, aren't you concerned about a distraction within your team? That type of thing.
No, that's not the question I want.
Well, the question you want might not be the question that's asked. I don't think.
No, it has to be asked. You're the New York media market. You ask tough questions. He decided to invite this. New York media, he's challenging you. He invited this into his locker room. Put it there for him.
And that's all the time that we have for Jackson Dart. That concludes the end of this media availability.
Zaz, you have anything to add on it? You were so good yesterday.
No. I don't like the way I represented myself yesterday.
I've chewed on this story a little bit more since yesterday because I'm really confused as to why Abdul Carter is getting so much shit for merely reacting. Like, everyone's like, how do you do this to your teammates? How do you draw this out in public? I'm like, wait a second. This is a Jackson Dart issue. If you're okay with Jackson Dart doing what he is doing, you have to be okay with Abdul Carter doing what he is doing. It doesn't make any sense to just go at Abdul Carter. And then I thought about it some more. I'm like, Abdul Carter, right now, this week, with all the talking heads that have weighed in with their agendas, Abdul Carter has had a tougher weekend than Steve Tisch did, the chairman and co-owner of the New York Giants, for emailing directly with Jeffrey Epstein.
I forgot about that.
About working girls. Quote, working girls. Look it up, people. There's a lot. It was in the news for like 2 days, and it went away. Not as long in the news as Abdul Carter's been.
I thought that was going to be a really big thing, and that totally went away.
The NFL has to make it a big thing and doesn't and won't and didn't because Goodell works for the owners, and his job is to protect the money and the owners.
So when you're asking questions of Jackson Dart and, hell, Abdul Carter, let's ask questions about the chairman of the New York Giants and why he's emailing Jeffrey Epstein about, quote, working girls.
You said you're confused, though, and I'm not. He's black and Muslim, and the way that people are aligned now politically, they will shape whatever they already think around the ways to protect the white guy or go after the black guy a little harder. That's not in any way new, but the reason I want Jackson Dart asked difficult questions like, what does Trump stand for, Jackson? How do you feel about Trump leaning deeply into white supremacy? Ask him difficult questions. Make him answer them.
Oh, by his appearance there, I think he invited direct questions about Steve Tisch. That's why it's a puzzling decision how the Giants allowed this, and I think we all have an idea of where the political leanings are of that franchise is, given Abdul Carter removing the post and just Jackson Dart being allowed to do this. Why would you make the block hot if your owner and chairman is in the Epstein files? Just bad ball out of them.
Let me backtrack, though, here, Greg. And Greg's sitting here saying, and I really do want to address this, the New York media market has always been notoriously tough. The tabloids still somehow matter in that city, even though newspapers are dying all over the place. Do you not believe that the New York media has a responsibility to ask difficult questions of Jackson Dart and let us hear what you believe?
Right.
Like if you want to be the quarterback who introduces Trump during this time, please expound on your thoughts. Tell us. I want him put in a position to sound educated or uneducated with the decision that he just made. He deserves to be made uncomfortable if he's going to support this particular presidency during a deeply uncomfortable time. Why not ask the quarterback of the New York Giants, hey, how do you feel about Donald Trump going after an attack on freedom and democracy? How do you feel about Iran? How do you feel about these things? Tell us, Jackson. You've made yourself a political person. Just tell us what you think.
I agree that he has exposed himself to these direct questions. I agree that he's volunteered these questions by stating who he believes in, etc. I would love the questions to be asked. I'm just taking the side that I don't know that they will be.
They definitely won't.
Trista hit the nail on the head. It'll be a PR person. All right, that'll do it for Jackson.
Yeah, I do think the question will be asked in the broader context of, clubhouse chemistry and all that bullshit. But I don't think they'll be asked as sharply and directly as you want them to be. That's just my prediction.
I think what Mike is saying is also important. Like, it's our duty as Americans, as the populace, to not fall for the distraction over here they're trying to throw at us, the Abdul Carter distraction. It would be a disservice to us to fall for that. Keep the pressure on these people who made these decisions and hold them accountable. That's what we have gone too far in this country not doing.
I don't think asking Jackson Dart questions will go anywhere. My hopes aren't great for that, but at least let him suffer the indignity of an embarrassing situation where a PR person comes and rescues him, or he no comments the entire time. Again, he's not an Olympian. He wasn't at the White House. He can't say, well, it's a great honor anytime the president asks you. First off, why is the president still doing campaign stops? I don't understand that. Add that to the list of questions. Why is the president having campaign stops? All right, he's a two-term president. But Jackson Dart went to a pep rally. He got people fired up. It was an endorsement of the president. It wasn't just like, this is my duty as an American because isn't this cool? The times in this country are different. This is not normal politics anymore. Your owner is in the Epstein files. That president is actively covering it up. Let's answer those questions if you're going to go ahead and do that.
Well, let me just place in front of the audience a handful of things here, because I'm really surprised by Greg Cody's answer here, because I expect more from the New York media market. I've been told all my life that that's the most difficult media market to play in, and we have diluted all of this so much that you guys don't even feel that we're going to get the simple question of, Jackson, how did this happen? What advice did you get from people in order for this to happen? So if you guys are telling me at every turn it's going to be no comments or just empty, superficial, I respect the office, aren't you of the opinion that it is the responsibility of the New York media, when this story is present, to not trade the access for non-answers? The job of the media in this circumstance is to ask difficult questions, not the questions that simply keep getting you the access to a quarterback who's not going to say anything but platitudes and no comments, because telling you what he really thinks about some of these things is obviously going to expose him to something he doesn't want in his huddle, because he's already invited it into his huddle.
Just in fairness to even the New York media, I know you guys are chewing on a hypothetical down the line, but they haven't had the opportunity yet. We are not in season. They are not made available to the press. And that's what they're banking on right now, is hopefully he's not made available for normal press availability for a while. And maybe given the way that this country has gone over the last few months, there's always something new in the news stream that'll punch it out of the way.
And the way the NFL has gone. You see how they handled Mike Vrabel? He came in there, hey, I'm going to therapy. All right, y'all. It's like, we're not going to hold him to the fire.
Oh, but he had to get in front of people, and I don't think that market is what New York is. But I'm really surprised that the journalist among us, that Greg Cody is sitting here just resigned to, New York media is probably not going to do it. Like, I think they have a responsibility. It is literally their job.
Okay, I think their job is to ferret out how Jackson Dart's political stance might affect the team, detrimentally or otherwise. I think that's their job. I'm anti-Trump, and I'm out front with that. I haven't voted for him, never would. Don't like him as a president.
And you know it.
And you do know it. But, look, it's not against the law to be a Trump supporter.
You agreed with your own catchphrase there?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And you know it. I wanted to underline that. It's not against the law to be a Trump supporter. I wish it were, but it isn't. And so I don't think you go into a press conference, putting Jackson Dart on the defensive as if what he is saying, what he believes in, is illegal. It isn't. That's my stance.
I didn't say it was illegal. I say he deserves questions. How did we go from deserves questions to illegal?
Okay,
I didn't say jail Jackson Dart.
I mean, your tone is kind of like, we need to go after this guy.
Just ask him questions. Go after him. Ask him questions.
How do you feel about tiki torches?
Hey, the Hockey Show has live streams throughout the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Please join us as we get to enjoy all the teams that are left here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dave, are you ready?
I am thrilled. I'm exhilarated. I'm excited. I'm psyched. I'm ready.
What about you, Rosie?
I can't wait to pick my team. Woohoo!
It's the second round. You're
No.
picking a team.
I'm picking a team now.
Ethan,
Bye-bye.
Ethan, what about you?
Always fired up to watch some playoff puck, Roy.
All right, the Hockey Show. We're doing live streams of the Stanley Cup playoffs throughout the end of the playoffs. Please join us.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's good luck for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such great advice?
With Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man? Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but 2 of the Love Doctor's marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back. Jack, I suggest you get your girl what you'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her randy ass.
You know about that randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary also.
I don't like... This isn't... Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't K-Fab. K-Fabe?
Kayfabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
Kayfabe,
Thank
wrestling
you.
nerd here at your service.
This isn't...
Zaz could have
Thanks,
helped
Mike Ryan. This isn't Kayfabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
So the Steelers.
Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's
What?
right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right. And now you just changed it.
He botched it to such a degree that there are so many good ones left that we're just pushing all the
I knew that was going to happen, though. That's exactly what we were saying.
Your brain beating me.
How did this happen? What was the ruling? What did the committee get together and decide? How did it happen that it got expanded? Now, no one's going to complain about this because more catchphrases is great, but we told you this was going to happen, and we told you this was a sloppy list by you.
The others, they all learn from me.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings. Yeah! The crown is yours.
The winner of last weekend's Indy 500 is going to join us here in moments. Felix Rosenqvist is going to be with us. The closest Indy 500 ever. He won it by .0233 seconds. Heartbreak for the second place finisher. I want to, before we get to that, though, go back to yesterday's conversation about the weird way that Bryce Harper brushes his teeth. Greg Cody, I don't know if you have seen this or not, but this is how Bryce Harper brushes his teeth. He puts the toothpaste in his mouth first. He does not put it on his toothbrush. He just squeezes Minty Fresh into his mouth from the bottom of the tube and then starts with the brushing. It seems unpleasant, and it got us into a conversation about how couples brush their teeth. I think the angriest or close to the angriest that Valerie has ever been with me is one time I did not, I was bothered by the fact that my toothbrush was used. And I'm like, I don't like that. I like my toothbrush to be my toothbrush. I'm not sharing. I don't want to be sharing.
And she was mad because that means like you're saying she's gross.
Well, I'm not saying it's gross. I'm saying I don't want my toothbrush in any other human being's mouth, not anybody's. I want my toothbrush to be only my toothbrush.
He could be saying he's gross.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
He didn't want that for Valerie.
I would never say that about my beloved Angel. I'm not saying her teeth, or any part of her is gross, but my mouth is gross. Did you hear me last segment? My tone was bad, and it came out of a stinky mouth. But how do you guys do this with your significant others?
The guys this morning thought that I was weird, that I have my own. I think Trista was offended, maybe as a woman, I don't know, but that.
Why did you give it that marbly sound?
Well, because maybe it's a couples thing, you know, like if you were with someone and you anyway, whatever. Focus on the wrong thing here. Trissa especially was offended that I have my own toothpaste. My wife has her own. I have my own. What's the problem here?
What is the point of that?
Zagak.
Well, I when I'm brushing my teeth, why do I have to go over? We have two sinks. Why do I have to go over to her sink and like fiddle around and find the toothpaste?
You could just put the toothpaste in the middle between two sinks.
Well, is it the same brand?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's where it gets a little weirder. I'm in a similar situation. Sinks are far apart, not even connected. They're both on their own island.
Big bathroom, huh?
And I have a different toothpaste preference.
Yeah, I do too.
So I have my own.
Yeah.
I think look, my wife very clearly likes us having completely separate stuff when it comes to the bathroom.
Bedrooms.
I think that's what it's about.
Girlfriends.
You have to have different toothbrushes. Come on. What do you?
Well,
No,
yeah.
Dad, we're saying toothpaste.
Okay, toothpaste.
Everyone
but-
has different toothbrushes.
Okay, well, apparently not everybody because Dan's using.
No, this was something that happened one time and it never
Dan is
happened
weird with
again.
Yeah, toothbrushes cost like $3. Go buy your own.
Shitty toothbrush.
I would sooner brush my teeth with my forefinger, which I have done, than use my wife's toothbrush. And it's nothing against her.
That's not brushing your teeth.
Oh,
Doing
yeah.
it with your forefinger.
No, you can. In an emergency.
No.
I mean, that was the move when you were like 8. And
When
you
have
had
you done
sleepover.
that?
That's
You said I've done that.
No,
That's not brushing
occasionally,
your
I'm on a one-night trip. I'll forget to pack a toothbrush. I don't want to go buy a
You
toothbrush.
call downstairs, they'll bring one up to you.
I'm the kind of
you
guy
go
that
like-
does that.
Yeah, you go like this. It's
That's
done.
that's
I
not
also
brushing your
shampoo
teeth.
my hair in a swimming pool.
I may have invented
That's
the
not brushing your teeth. It's
four-finger
dirtying
brush.
your finger.
No, it isn't.
Hey, Butterfinger.
My family was over my dad's house for Memorial Day in the pool, and my wife and my
Also known as Greg's shower.
my wife, my daughter, and my sister-in-law all learned of that fact in the pool, and they were like just mortified at the idea. They're like, "Wait, you bring shampoo in here?" And he was just like, "Yeah, sometimes." He got really embarrassed.
I do it on the deep end.
What does that have to do with
Because it
anything?
definitely stays on that side.
That has
whatever you're
nothing
doing.
to do with.
Okay.
The others, they all learned from me.
The pool guy
it's the
pours
deep end.
in a gigantic jug of chlorine once a week. What does that chlorine
You're
do?
still doing a chlorine pool?
Yeah, it
The
cleanses
chlorine
thing.
damages your hair, neutralizing the shampoo.
No, I don't look at it that way. It's
Okay,
in
so
and out.
why don't you just bathe and bleach then? Why don't you just do that?
That seems dangerous, Dan. Are you suggesting people do that?
I'm telling you that what
Le
you're
Batard
doing.
suggests people bathe and bleach.
I think that chlorine, once you get out of the pool covered in chlorine, you're not clean. You're just covered in chlorine.
Anybody who goes in the pool then is quote unquote covered in
Nah,
chlorine.
most people have saltwater pools like I do.
No, most
I
people
don't think that's most people.
No, I think saltwater pools are becoming a thing. I don't know if it's more popular, but it is a trend.
Most people, though.
I don't know if it's most
people.
It's evening out a little bit.
It's rich
but
people, honestly.
I think it's still more chlorine pools.
Oh yeah, I'd much rather have a chlorine pool. I don't want to go to the. If I want a saltwater pool, I'll go to the
Don't
ocean
go showering
to try to please me.
or in the shallow end.
You got to do it the deep end though. See, it would be rude to wash your hair in the shallow end, of course, because that's where most people hang out. Right. So
I've been
look out for
watching the Indy 500 champion listening to this, and I think he's mortified. So let's just include him on part of these conversations that we're having. He just won the closest Indy 500 ever. Felix Rosenqvist is with
Felix.
us. Yes, welcome to
well
him.
done.
So
Congrats.
first question, a normal question. Thank you for being on with us. What do you think about somebody who shampoos in their swimming pool?
That's the funniest question I've had since I came to New York.
You're welcome.
I don't think that's probably a red flag to me.
Oh, wow.
Not a yellow flag?
No, it's a red flag.
But checkered flag.
Maybe yellow flag.
Okay,
Caution.
that's more like it. Thank you. Okay.
How do you feel about somebody who pees in the pool?
Gotta say green flag on that one.
Okay, you made a good game.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that one. I think.
All right. Green flag, caution, red flag, checkered flag. I like the whole thing. How about squeezing a toothpaste tube directly into your mouth and then brushing?
Green flag, baby.
Oh, wow.
Okay, wait, do you do that? I know green flag means you're okay with it, but do you do that?
Yes.
Whoa, we found the
I
second
think I've
one.
been guilty of that. Because sometimes, when you just want to freshen up and you just need like toothpaste in your mouth, but you don't need a toothbrush. So you take a little, basically what you said, and then a little gulp of water and you like flush it out. So yeah, I definitely done that.
Homemade mouthwash.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah, homemade
significant.
mouthwash.
Which flag is your significant other using your toothbrush?
What flag she considers my toothbrush?
No. If I tell you your significant other wants to use your toothbrush, what kind of flag do you give that? Green flag, yellow flag, or red flag?
I think it's a green flag. It's family. It's family on that toothbrush.
Letting the water run the entire time you're brushing your teeth.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Really?
And
same.
it's a red flag for my significant other. He thinks about the water bill.
If you splash the mirror while you're brushing your teeth, do you immediately clean it?
No, never.
Yes, I do. It becomes kind of an annoyance over time.
All right. I like how thoughtful you are. Now,
Yes, I
say with me.
appreciate
This is
that.
going to take a turn. Do you stand or sit?
Oh no.
Gotta stay.
At night I sit.
That's a man that wants a long-term relationship. You can't have extra dribble around the floor.
No, I mean,
Well, I'm a very clean guy, so I'm just not going to take the guests at night, bro. I don't want to turn on the light.
all right. Well, actually, I got a better
day
answer.
standing, at night sitting.
All right. How about all right? When we're going in for the pit stop number 2,
Going deep.
and it's time to wipe. Standing or sitting?
Wait.
Wiping number 2.
Like people just stand?
Yeah, it's a thing,
look,
man. I'm
this is a
telling you,
reaction
that's
that we always get.
This
Yes,
always
it's
happens.
actually like a 50-50 split,
be
but the
surprised.
sitters
Yeah.
cannot imagine a world in which people stand.
Don't knock it till you tried
Yeah,
it.
you gotta sit.
Yes, and I'm sorry for all of this, by the
Wow.
way.
Wait, so there's a 50-50 split.
It's pretty close.
I don't think it's 50-50.
You don't have to do a split. You can just stand up and then just.
I don't think it's a 50-50 split. But you're shocked to learn that there are people who wipe standing up.
So yesterday I learned that I'm the first bearded Indy 500 winner ever in 110 years, and that was the most shocking fact of my life. And this fact might have just beaten that one.
That must fill you with pride.
How about that?
All right, let's talk to him about why he's here. Again, the closest Indy 500 race ever, 0.0233 seconds. Did you know you'd won?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I'd won it, but I had to kind of double check. I saw people on the grandstand celebrating. It's like 500,000 people there, by the way. It's absolutely nuts. But for a split second, I was like, we probably should confirm. And then I heard my team radio, and it was like absolute roar. And it was like a brawl on our pit stand. And then I think I allowed myself to accept that I won it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
What are the craziest things that have happened to your life in the last couple of days?
I got a telegram from the King and Queen of Sweden.
Wow.
That was pretty. That's kind of when you realize that you've done something special. Otherwise, I mean, I won a Corvette. I won $4.3 million. I won. I'm in my pocket.
Oh, he lists the money third.
Hold on a second.
This thing.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of stuff, a lot of swag comes with this win. And I think we're only getting started, to be honest.
Well, tell us something about the swag in a second, but tell us how you got the telegram. I didn't think we were still doing telegrams. Did someone hand you a telegram? Did someone email you a telegram?
So basically, the King's people reached out to my people, and there was an email conversation, and I had to provide my physical address, and then they sent the telegram in the form of a letter and a copy in a PDF to my email.
Wow.
So it's sort of mix of the future and the past.
But so when you click,
it's very cool.
When you click on it, you're like, you don't know what that is. Which one did you get first?
Oh, I'm in New York now, so I got the PDF.
Okay, so you're clicking on it, and you're like, "What is this? Do I trust this? Is this real? Is this spam?"
Potential malware.
What is the community of Swedish athletes like? Is it close? I'm wondering if you've been hearing from other professional like Gustav Forsling of the Florida Panthers or anybody else that's reached out to you.
Oh, weird.
To be fair with you, I haven't really looked. I think it's in the 4 digits the amount of messages, and that's not including Instagram DMs. Like text message and WhatsApp is like over 1,000, and I haven't even. We just been on a whirlwind here, like a media tour, So I'm gonna when I come home tonight, I'm gonna sit down and go through. But yeah, the two previous Swedish Indy 500 winners have contacted me. It's pretty cool. We have three, I think.
Yeah.
That's a 9 million people nation.
When you say the swag is incredible, go ahead and tell us some of the things. You're just being handed baskets of free stuff?
Pretty much. It's wherever we go, it seems like I just now have like people around me that handle stuff for me. And it's so weird, man. I'm like not a very extravagant guy. But now apparently I have like servants and people carries my water bottles and gives me coffees and wake me up in the morning like a little alarm and stuff. It's definitely a different life from this day on.
Is this something that you have literally dreamt about? Does racing and winning a race this way, is it something that has actually crept into your sleep?
If I had any sleep, I'm sure it would have. Yeah, dude, it's. I mean, I don't know how much you follow racing, but that finish was like. A lot of people I met said it was the best Indy 500 ever, and yeah, this is stuff you dream about since you're a kid. It's just incredible.
I'm curious the draw of the Indy 500 to a European because, 500,000 people on the grounds. It's a huge moment for IndyCar, and all eyes go on that here in the States. But in Europe, that's Formula One country. I wonder if you guys grow up over there knowing about the Indy 500, if it's on a pedestal the way that it is here.
The cool thing is that it is. Everyone back home knows what this race is. And I grew up, when I was 8, I saw Kenny Brack win it, my fellow Swede, in 99. And it's just one of those marquee events that it's like the Masters or the Super Bowl. Like everyone knows about this race, whether they love racing or not. And that's why it's so cool. If you want any other race, you will be obviously in this community. People know about it, but this one is like you jump in a cab in Gothenburg, and people know what the Indy 500 is. Yeah, and now I think it's here as well, which is awesome.
I'm curious just about like the toll on your body for a race like this. How sore are you after racing period versus the Indy 500? Like as specific as you can get, because I think a lot of people don't realize how much of an exertion it is.
It is an incredibly physical sport. It's probably the sport where it looks the easiest, but it is the most difficult. I mean, I didn't realize, but we were in the cars for 4 hours on Sunday, and you basically have this little like straw to drink out of. We're basically like drinking hot tea because it sits next to the radiator and it's super warm. So it's a massive physical toll. But I think Indy 500 is more like the mental aspect is actually bigger than the physical one. But yeah, unfortunately, we have to train a lot for preparing ourselves for these races.
Felix, what is the hardest part of the life?
Dude, it's pretty easy to be me right now.
Is it? I would think that the having a baby a couple of weeks ago is the reason you're actually not sleeping. It's not the last couple of days.
And the reason why I'm in New York, so I don't have to change diapers.
Congratulations on that. She's taking care of everything,
you.
and you've got servants now who make sure that everything is taken care of for you. You'd never won an oval race before, ever?
Correct. Yeah, I've only won the ones where you have to turn right as well.
So how rare is that?
For me, it's very rare, and for me, it's such a statement to myself more than anything to win an oval. Like in Sweden or in Europe, we don't have ovals. So my first oval race was the Indy 500 2019. and I was like completely terrified. By the way, it's like an absolute crazy thing to do. Like you're racing at 230 miles per hour, wheel to wheel, and everyone's an absolute lunatic in this field. Like you have to be good. But I wasn't then, but I kind of learned how to become one and to not let my fear distract me. But yeah, ovals are, they're fast, they're dangerous, but I'd say also more rewarding when you win.
You mentioned the prize, $4.34 million. What are you going to buy?
Think about it.
I have a lot of bets. 500. I'm gonna buy you this, buy you that. I have to buy a snowmobile for my sister. Apparently, I'm gonna start with that.
Apparently.
What do you mean apparently?
I heard you talk about like pools before.
Yes.
Like you talked about swimming pools and chlorine and all. So I tried to do that myself and to like do the whole mixture with chemicals. So now I might actually pay someone to.
Yeah,
it's amazing. You're getting a pool guy. That's one of your first thoughts.
Do my chemicals for me. So,
Yeah.
A pool guy and a snowmobile for his sister, apparently.
I got a good one, $90 a month.
Felix, congratulations, sir. Delightful to talk to you. It was was fun watching, and it was fun talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Except for the long pauses. Thank you. We appreciate it. That was a high wire. That really was.
I love that guy.
Yeah, it's he was pretty
Playful.
pretty
Playful.
lovable.
You think the Indy 500 winner would have faster Wi-Fi?
Somehow answers incredibly slow.
Thoughtful, very thoughtful.
The shampooing of the hair in the pool, Cody.
Yeah.
You're not rethinking that. No. You're doubling down on that.
Yeah, of course, tripling down. Yeah, I'm disappointed that Rosenqvist didn't get on board there.
You feel clean when you get out of the pool?
Very
after,
much so. Yeah.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you feel clean when you get out of the pool? Because I don't. I feel like there's a chemical on me. I feel if it's not a saltwater pool, saltwater too, actually, but the chlorine is worse. Like I feel like there's a film off on me when I get out of a pool, and I don't want that in my hair. That's not like shampoo doesn't remedy the fact that I don't want chlorine in my hair.
Chlorine is a cleansing agent. What are you doing?
You think it's good for the hair? You think chlorine?
Absolutely.
You think?
I've been told that by meteorologists.
Meteorologists? Weather people?
Yes.
Weather people.
Yeah, Don No, the former Channel 10 guy, told me that chlorinating your hair was good for you.
Don No is who you mentioned, someone who hasn't been on television doing the weather in 25 years. How is it that you've only gotten worse since this?
You root for the Canadian team.
Oh, my.
I'm getting a joker. Go ahead. Put that on rerun, replay. What do you call that? Repeat.
He sounds like Commissioner Gordon telling Batman to go get the Joker.
Thank you. I'm getting a joker.
Why would I ask a meteorologist if chlorine is good for the hair?
He deals with rainfall and stuff like that, water, precipitation.
But chlorine's not in any of that.
Precipitation.
Greg's right about this.
Thank you, Billy.
You're doubling down on chlorine and shampooing in the pool. You sound like Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond said the New York Knicks cannot win with Jalen Brunson as their best player, and she was asked about it again, and Becky Hammond did her best Greg Cody.
Knicks fans. For what?
You're taking a little bit of grief from what you said about Jalen Brunson.
You are. I'm not big enough.
I never said. Hey.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying.
No, I mean I speak from experience, and I never. Allen Iverson got MVP, and he lost in the finals, and I think the two best teams are probably in the West. But I'm up for being proven wrong. And that's the other thing is I think Jalen Brunson's a hell of a player, hell of a player. I'm speaking historically on the NBA. With what I said, I don't know why that's being brought. Like why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago. I stand by it.
I'm letting you clear the air.
There's no air to be cleared. I said what I said. He proves me wrong. He proves me wrong. I mean, I good for him. But I do think the two best teams are in the West.
We know who you like, right?
Oh, well, you know who I'm cheering for.
She's not wrong.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Don't make it right.
That's also true.
I like that answer. This is whole like gotcha social media old
They were
tweets and stuff.
aggressive, that media.
She ain't wrong yet.
Need
Prove
them
me wrong.
to question Jackson Dart.
Yeah. And then I like, yeah, okay, so what? Then I'm wrong. Cool. Well, you kind of really undid this for the internet, Becky.
I mean, even if the Knicks win the finals, from an historical perspective, like she's still right. She's still right. I mean, the only small guard who's your best player that leads you to a championship, it's Isaiah Thomas. And so I think it's fair 2 years ago to ask, is Jalen Brunson Isaiah Thomas?
You don't put Steph in there, though, because Steph is a little bit bigger, and we've just changed the entire game. I've been saying that all of my life. Since Isaiah won it, I've been saying, won it with a broken foot, didn't he? Or didn't he?
I think they lost that year.
They lost that year. That's right. He was playing in the finals with a broken foot.
What a performance.
Yes, but Steph, I just think that maybe that's no longer true, because if you can shoot from 30 feet, all of a sudden the size starts mattering a little bit less if we're going to just distort all of the numbers. So it might, I think a lot of people covering sports these days have to sort of rethink some things that have been true the entirety of their lives. Wemby can make it true by just all of a sudden the Spurs win and they didn't have to lose first, right? We've been saying that one for a long time. You have to suffer some before you win the championship in basketball.
She did mention Steph in that original piece with Malika Andrews. She was like, Steph's really the outlier, but I don't think Steph really falls into the same category of what she's talking about. He's an off-ball guard. He's more of a shooting combo guard. Like he's moving a ton without the ball. I think she's talking about put the ball on the floor, a guy that creates his own shot. And Steph certainly can, but that's not really what his role is.
We can probably take the helmet off.
No, I'm going to keep it on. And and it's falling apart, by the way. I have American Gigolo Richard Gere in my hand because it's falling to pieces. The gearhead's not in good shape.
That?
I wanted to get into, because we have coming out later today, the Step Back, part of a series that is looking back historically at LeBron James during this time. Izzy, Amin, and myself sat down for a while, and we talked to an assortment of interesting people who have been in LeBron's life, and it's a 6-part series, and we're proud of it, so you could check that out on the feed later today. But LeBron is, again, the reporting again from Brian Windhorst is no discounts. If Cleveland, if you want him, you're going to have to pay full price. It's not going to be that LeBron James continues to be underpaid. I've said this before. LeBron James, every season that he has played, has been underpaid because there's a salary cap. And if there were not a salary cap, what he brings to your team, to your economy, to your city, you cannot pay him enough to have him not be underpaid in that sport. So he refuses to take a discount, even if it's the great punctuation story of going back to Cleveland. What are your thoughts there, Zaz? Well, according to Windhorst, this is according to Brian Windhorst.
Nothing wrong with that from LeBron's perspective, but you can't also say winning's most important. And that's okay. Like, that's totally okay. You could want both. But winning is not most important if you're not willing to take a pay cut.
I would think he would put winning first. I would think he would go to some place thinking this is my one last chance to get another ring. And if that means you have to take $10 million less a year, it sounds ridiculous to say. Like, if that means you only have to take $10 million less a year, you do it. I mean, at this point in his life, how rich is he? You know what I'm saying? Like, the difference between making $55 million a year and $48 million a year is nothing to him.
Yeah, but they have $3 million to spend, according to Windhorst, and he made $54 last season.
It is hard to believe that he won't, like, if he makes 50 now, that you won't take 25 to help you win, especially because, like, if he does do that, does anyone think differently? I'm like, oh, that's good. You're not worth $50 million anyway. Like, why not?
Money, because he's cheap as hell. He's just about the same cheapness as Tom Dundon. He doesn't even pay for the premium Spotify.
This is not an either-or choice. It's not in LeBron James's mind, and I've been making a form of this argument since people accused A-Rod of selling out by going to the Texas Rangers and demanding a contract that was exactly double, $252 million, the largest ever given in sports before that, which was $126 to Kevin Garnett. He wasn't choosing losing there. He thought he was going to take the winning with him. Why wouldn't LeBron James think that everywhere he goes, he takes the winning with him, given that for more than 20 years, everywhere he goes, he takes the winning with him?
Also, A-Rod doesn't get enough credit because he was actually trying to give some money back, and the union would not allow that, if I recall correctly.
No, you're right.
A-Rod was really trying to help facilitate initially what was a Boston deal that was very close, and then he ended up going to the Yankees. But he was all about winning at that point in his career.
I'm going back to the Texas Rangers.
No, I am too.
That.
No, he made that decision. I'm with you. Yeah. He didn't think Texas was going to be bad. He thought he was the final piece, and then he suffered. He won MVPs, but they were last place teams. And then when it got time to Boston's interest,
the Sox wanted him.
He was willing to do whatever it took to facilitate that deal. But you can't have a guy at the peak of his powers with that union agreeing to that sort of stuff.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about these players. They believe they're taking the winning with them. So why would LeBron not believe he's taking the winning with him? I don't think it's about that. We're talking about a salary cap sport here, and a player who has long talked about needing other good players around him. So it's not that he doesn't believe that he's taking the winning with him. It's if you take less money, you can continue to get all the good players around.
I understand why the money is a fascinating part of this. All the contract terms are going to be interesting to me. How long does he sign for? How does he want to keep his options open? Does he sign a multi-year deal? What does that look like? Player option after player option? I think it's all interesting.
I envision he goes back to what he did every year this last go-around with Cleveland, where every year's a 1+1.
Trista, can you please see what kind of math you can do on this? I don't know the exact clientele that Clutch has, but when I tell you that Clutch, the brainchild of LeBron James with Rich Paul, represents 94 NBA players, and you are getting basically the way LeBron is paid for carrying that sport, you're getting, I think it's 5%. I don't think it's 10%. I think it's 5% of 94 NBA contracts as part of how it is that you're running a business that has to be run with employees. Can you see if you can do some sort of quick math? I don't know who all those clients are, and I don't expect you to do 94 of them, but just trying to figure out what 5% of that would be as LeBron's side hustle. He's got a content business that's losing a lot of money as well. The content business, can you look that up for me, Chris? The reports on how much money the content business has lost over the last year, because it's been a good amount of money that he has lost. But when you say Zaslow that flatly, he can't say winning is the most important thing if he's not willing to take less money. I would, and have never understood, I would take less money. I would want to work with my friends and have the best chance at winning at this point in my career, because the money would not be that important. And I know I can make it up in commercials. Like, I know I can make it up with a retirement tour. Just by getting a sponsor to my retirement tour, I could do it. But I'm not the one who tells other people to take discounts on their services. I'm not the one to tell other people that they should get less than they're actually worth when, again, I will say, underpaid his entire career. And why would he want to take $3 million instead of $50+ million, instead of putting the burden on the franchise? No, go find other cheap players. You can find me good players. There are going to be players. I've gotten free agents to come to Cleveland because the traveling circus is something that people want to be a part of when LeBron James is at the center of your team.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit different at this stage in his career.
He's not that guy anymore.
Cleveland is more appealing when you know that LeBron is certifiably the best player in the league.
Zaz was saying yesterday he's going to get Kyrie to come with him. That was yesterday.
Yeah, Kyrie in 2026 is different than Kyrie back then, and even Kyrie back then was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, Yahoo reported in 2023 his company lost $30 million.
For the NBA, the revenue for his side hustle, right around $50 million per year. But there's also other sports that they represent. Remember, they represent the NFL as well. Around $200 million a year is what it looks like they're making off of the contracts.
I don't think that LeBron is still interested in the ownership game, but that costs billions. Like, you have to have it. It's not hundreds of millions that gets you into the NBA ownership game anymore. And all of us, everyone listening to this says take a discount, right? Everyone listening to this says what's going to be the difference in your life in real terms, LeBron, between taking less money and not taking less money.
Especially with the example of Jalen Brunson right now with his friends in the championship.
Without that, you don't get OG Anunoby signed to a long-term deal.
Yeah.
You don't get Mikal Bridges signed to a long-term deal. You don't figure out a way to get all the Villanova boys there. You don't get Karl Anthony Towns making $60 million. Without Jalen Brunson taking that pay cut, this Knicks team does not exist.
We do see this everywhere in sports, where you'll have great play. I mean, Connor McDavid just took a discount last year with
Tom
the
Brady
extension he
did it
signed.
every year. Every year the last 7-10 years of his career, he was doing
It's
that
not because they're trying to save the owner money. They're trying to help the team in a salary cap sport.
Yeah, that's how the big three in Miami came together 15 years ago. LeBron's main source of income isn't even his NBA contract anymore. He's got plenty of money otherwise. And what would assure more than a sacrifice financially? What would assure that his homecoming in Cleveland is the sentimental, well-received thing that everybody hopes it is?
Just be clear on this part, though, okay? This changed. You said he did it in Miami, and he did, but never again. Because when he got to Miami, he expected that to come with certain perks. He thought he would get 200 tickets and suites and an assortment of other things that would have made it a wink-wink deal, and he didn't get any of those things. And so immediately thereafter, he's like, I'm not doing that again. Not ever. And he has not. Like that you say he did it before, and he did, but he learned the lesson that I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, but he was 25 then, and he's 41 now. People change. He's matured. He's a different person. Not just a different player, a different person than he was. And I think at this point in his career and his life, maybe he is willing to make that sacrifice.
Not.
Okay.
No, but what do you mean maybe he is? He's not. The conversation started with he's not.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Nobody. Well, I can't do anything with that.
That's good radio. Good stuff, Greg.
I mean, you can't say
Becky Hammond right there. I like that.
You can't say that he won't end up taking a sacrifice.
You don't have
to
to
go Cleveland. You
bend
can't
the
say
knee to the constructs of debate.
And
I'm with
also
you.
good for the Vegas Knights.
Folks, the NBA playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, brings the excitement to every game all postseason long. Bet player props, bet live, and stay in the action the entire time. New DraftKings customers bet just $5, and you'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Dan so you're ready for the moment. That's code Dan. Turn $5 into $100 instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.